So people have been looking for that shoe brand that can really hit home and resonate with, and I think that's one thing that, South Africans, had to fall in love with our brand, because it's not just a shoe, but it's a shoe that, tells a story. It's a shoe that helps people walk their journey, embrace that diversity, embrace where we come from as a country.
Nike never expected a sneaker brand from a Johannesburg township to rise up and shake the sneaker game. But one man's dream, born from absolutely nothing, turned into $1 million empire. Bathu Shoes. Imagine kids playing soccer in the dusty streets, music blasting from corner shops, everyone rocking the same old sneakers from overseas. Then out of nowhere, a pair of bold, colorful kicks nobody's seen before, light, fresh, and different, making heads turn. People ask, yo, where do you get those? That was the beginning of a new shoe revolution. This is the story of Bathu Shoes, the sneaker brand that went from 13 rejections to 32 stores, from impossible to $1 million empire. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you see how one man's dream became the sneaker that even Nike had to notice. Welcome to AfriWealthWise, where we tell real stories behind successful Africans, those who are building more than just wealth, and those rewriting the future of the continent. Theo Baloyi grew up in Alexandra Township, one of the busiest, loudest, and most colorful corners of Johannesburg. Life there is full of hustle. People make a plan with what they have. Theo was no different. After finishing school, he studied hard and became an accountant, the kind of jobs parents are proud of. But even while working in corporate office, wearing suits and balancing sheets, Theo kept his eyes on the streets, and he noticed something strange. Everywhere he looked, people were rocking sneakers. Nike, Adidas, Puma, all imported and unsurprisingly expensive. And yet, there wasn't a single authentic African sneaker brand in sight. Nothing that truly represented our culture, our style, our pride. That's when the thought hit him. Why not us? Why not a sneaker born in the town? For the town and for the world. He already had the perfect name. In town slang, the word Bathu simply means shoes, straightforward, raw, and relatable. But a name and a dream don't pay factory bills. Theo didn't have investors. He didn't have rich uncles, and everyone he spoke to thought the idea was crazy. South Africans won't buy local sneakers, and it's impossible to produce locally owned sneakers that will sell, they warned him. Still, Theo believed, and that belief was about to be tested harder than he ever imagined. One thing you should know about the billionaires of Africa and their story is that dreaming was always very free and easy, but making it real, that's the battlefield. Theo took his idea, a proudly African sneaker brand, and started knocking on factory doors. He explained his vision, bold, breathable sneakers that could stand next to Nike on the shelf. But one by one, the answer was the same: no. Too risky, too complicated. There's no market for township sneakers. By the 5th rejection, most people would have folded. By the 10th, anyone else might have quit. But Theo kept going. 13 factories turned him down. 13 doors slammed in his face. Still, he refused to let no be the final word. Finally, one factory said, "Okay, let's try." That moment gave birth to what would become Bathu's signature, the mesh edition. What made it different from Nike, Adidas, and Puma? The upper was made from breathable mesh, so your feet stayed light and airy. The colors were bright, playful, and impossible to ignore. And the sole, chunky and stylish sneakers stood out instantly in the crowd. When people first saw them, they were no longer seeing a footwear. They saw something fresh, something that felt like us. In 2015, something small and loud was born. In the heartbeat of Joburg, Bathu launched almost guerrilla style with just a handful of boxes, a few pairs on display, and a vibe that felt like home. The name itself did the heavy lifting, street slangs for shoes. It wasn't a polished marketing company, but simply a language people actually used. That's why it landed hard. The first pair didn't arrive with a celebrity campaign or a million-rand billboard. They arrived on foot, and the streets and word of mouth did the rest. Picture corner shop conversations, taxis full of chatter, and kids pointing at a fresh, colorful pair that didn't look like anything else around. Bright mesh uppers, chunky sole, and lightness that made walking feel like a small flex. The product was just too practical, and it looked like a mood. Early marketing was nothing fancy: community energy, streetwear culture, and hustle. Bathu's team showed up where the people were at markets, small events, and new town junctions, where they opened their first physical store. That shop became a cathedral for the brand. Long queues on launch days, boxes stacked like promises, staff who spoke the same slang as their customers, and then they put words to the feeling: walk your journey. It was a slogan for a poster that later became a belief, a blend of hope and hustle that said, your path matters, your story is valid, and the shoes can tell it. Now, when Bathu hit the streets, it didn't just sit on the shelves for very long. The sneakers spread like wildfire. Social media started buzzing selfies with colorful mesh editions, hashtags popping up, and people showing off their new kicks like trophies. Word of mouth did the heavy lifting, and if you wore Bathu, you were starting conversations without even opening your mouth. By 2020, that small township-born brand had become a serious employer. Over 100 jobs created and multiple stores springing up across South Africa. For young people, walking into a Bathu store wasn't just about buying shoes. It was about being part of an elite society, one that looked like them and spoke their language. The mesh sneakers became status symbols in the townships, the kind of sneakers you wore to say, I'm proud of where I come from and I'm moving forward. Then came the celebrities and influencers, not because they were paid to wear Bathu, but because they actually wanted to. Music artists, media personalities, athletes. Bathu sneakers started showing up on stages, red carpets, and Instagram feeds. The brand wasn't trying to be cool, it was cool. That's when Bathu officially crossed the line. Here are the 5 lessons hidden in Bathu Shoes' story. Number 1. Start with identity, not just product. Theo built a brand rooted in African pride. The name Bathu itself made people feel included, spoken to, and seen. It proved that when your product reflects people's culture, they will carry it with pride. Number 2. Rejection is redirection. 13 factories said no, and each one refined Theo's persistence. The eventual years came not because the idea became easier, but because he became unstoppable. If one door closes, keep knocking until the right one opens. Number 3, build community before you build stores. Bathu's first customer weren't celebrities or big investors. They were everyday people in the township who spread the word because they believed in it. That grassroots energy made the brand unshakable. Another one is social proof is priceless. When celebrities and influencers wore Bathu, it wasn't paid placement, it was pride. That authenticity made the brand cooler than any ad campaign ever could. Number 5, your journey is your marketing. Walk Your Journey was Theo's story in 3 words. Story of resilience, hustle, and hope. Every pair of Bathus carried that narrative, turning shoes into symbols. The grand lesson of this story is, you don't need billions to build something iconic. You need vision, grit, and the courage to believe that your story deserves a place in the market. Let us reflect on this story. From the streets of Alexandria to malls across South Africa, from countless rejection to a $1 million sneaker empire, Bathu proves one thing. Dreams born in Township can walk proudly on the world stage. Theo Baloyi did just that by building a mirror, one where Africans could finally see themselves. Stylish, resilient, and unstoppable. Nike, Adidas, Puma, they may dominate the global market, but none of them carry the soul of a Township slang word turned into a global brand. That's Bathu's magic. So the next time you lace up your sneakers, remember, it's not just about walking, it's about walking your journey. And if Theo could turn the word impossible into Bathu, maybe your own dream is closer than you think, because sometimes it comes from the heart of the people. This is AfriWealthWise, where we tell real stories behind successful Africans, those who are building more than just wealth, and those rewriting the future of the continent. If you want to join the bandwagon of unfiltered stories of business success and failures, subscribe, like, and share.